Hello viewers, welcome to the University of the Gambia, Kanifum campus. After 1 month of the closure of schools and universities, the University of the Gambia is now bringing means to get classes continue. The lockdown has been so long that the university is now coming up with an initiative to get the students back to school. Not the normal way, but through the online version this time. With me on this discussion is Professor Per Gomez, who is Dean of School of Art and Sciences and also chairperson of the Task Force Committee responsible for the initiative. I'll just allow him to say good morning to the program.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for having me.
Another member of this panel is Ibrahima El Damfa, who is president of the Student Union at the University of the Gambia. Damfa?
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers, and thank you for having me.
Like we said, the subject is to discuss about the university's migration to the digital age. How far has this been done already? The university is very much appreciative of iAfrica coming here to discuss all the detail about this program. We just moved to Professor Gomez to explain the platform, how far it has been done so far.
Well, thank you very much for allowing us to communicate through your medium. The University of Gambia, as you know, is a public institution and higher education, specifically, and because of this coronavirus, we have to now stop our classes, observe social distancing, and so on and so forth. But then later we discovered that this thing has gone to a more serious situation, becoming now a pandemic, and therefore we cannot continue our classes as normal. What to do now? And since the university is a place where we are forced now to question the logic, to come up with alternatives, to always try to come up with plan Bs, and we said, yeah, if we cannot have our face-to-face classes, what is our response to this challenge? So we thought that there must be an alternative, and one of the alternatives is to use the distance learning. Like any other serious universities, we looked at what happens all over the world with other institutions, how they're doing it, and and some of us have been exposed to those systems. So we decided to task our IT department, and they decided really to look at the different solutions possible, and they came up with their proposal with different options, and management looked at it and opted for one of the solutions that have been proposed, using G Suites to help students and lecturers having online classes using Google Classroom and other features within Google Suite. And the task force was set up by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Muhammadu Fakir Anjum, and where you have all the major stakeholders within the university, management and students, staff, all being represented to make sure that whatever we do is a concerted effort, and the product is to ensure quality in the delivery of our education system.
What is the schedule about these online classes? We know already 1 month of closure is absolutely done. How far is, or when is it starting, and for how long?
Well, the Senate met to look at the response from the technical perspective. As I said, our IT department did a wonderful job, homegrown, and we are very, very proud of them. This is Gambian made. They really reflect on it and produce something. These are all UTG products. That's what they able to work on, and then now propose it, and it was taken to a highest level, that is the Senate, which is the highest academic body, deliberated on it, and then came up with some resolutions now to kickstart the program. And come Monday, God willing, this Monday, 20th, classes will start all over, and we will run more than 800 classes. And for your info, already some of the classes have been tested, online classes, and even up to since last week, some are running some of these classes whilst waiting for the official launch of the program.
So the deployment plans is being tested. So what about the students? How far they have been engaged into the enrollment and registration of courses so far?
Well, the students were well for since it is this is well this is a well an open there's an open policy in the whole process. So the students are represented at the highest level, that is their presidency, at the task force committee to also represent students' view. We always have strong strong views. You know, the president is always out to defend students' interests. And sometimes he will end up, convincing us, and we change our policies just to make sure that we accommodate their decisions. Because at the end of the day, is all geared towards the common good, and we are very proud of them. And the president also, he has really represented students' interest at task force level, and that's why you must have seen there was a time we were planning to give them 500 meg, but the president and his team really engaged the task force and management to the extent that this thing was increased from 500 to 1,500 meg and so on and so forth.
That is Professor Per Gomez, the chairperson of the task force committee. Knowing the University of the Gambia, campuses are located within the Greater Banjul area, with the exception of the Faraba campus in the West Coast region. So we will ask President Ibrahim El Damfa, the student union leader, about where are the students right now.
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Of course, the students are at the core of this. The students are not just only represented, but they are involved throughout the process. And I've never seen, an initiative that is, consultative as this. Since the beginning, since the inception, in fact, since the beginning, the crafting of ideas, when Prof was coming up with the idea, the students were involved. And, not only involved at CASI level, but at operational level, at the level of administration, and in fact, even at decision-making level. So like Prof already told you, there are critical moments, but anytime I voice something out on behalf of the students, he and the team will always support, and they will always be with me and ensure that it is done. So like he said, the students are not only represented, but they are at the core of this initiative.
Looking at the students' diversity in this university, since the lockdown, people must have gone back to their various places. It is a stay-at-home campaign. So how is the communication like between you and the general student body?
Thank you very much. The University of the Gambia Students' Union have a communication strategy, and they are working hand in glove with the university relations, which also have their own specific communication strategy. And with these strategies incorporated together, we use that to reach out to the students. First, we expect almost 90 to 95% of the UTG students to be having a WhatsApp platform. And we created different WhatsApp platforms, and each and every student is a member of these different WhatsApp platforms. So we ensure that any decision that is made at the level of the task force, any decision that is made at the level of the student union is relayed to the students. Not only that, there is also, in fact, a more official platform, that is the UTG email, and all bona fide students of the university are member in that UTG community. So informations that are also shared in the UTG WhatsApp page are also shared officially in the UTG email, so that every, like I said, bona fide student will have access to this information. In fact, we don't only stop there, we go beyond borders to post some of this necessary information on our Facebook pages and other relevant platforms. So in fact we went more than that, because we wanted, there was a time that the university had to come up with an initiative to send a personal SMS, to each and every student of the university, to tell them how to access their email, how to do this and how to do that. So at the level of communication, I think we have done what we think it's best, to be able to communicate to the students at the last corner of this country.
Yeah, so based on that also, what are some of the major concerns that the students are, relating to you and to the university administration for now, as far as the deployment of this platform is being shared with them?
Yes, this is an initiative and it is first time. Many people, especially at the level of students, some people are skeptical about it, and that have begged some cynical questions within ourselves. And in fact, some are more concerned about how they will be able to have access to this, bearing in mind the costly internet facility of this country. But the university administration through the task force was able to come up with initiatives, able to come up with ideas that will be able to help each and every student anywhere you are to be able to have free access to all what you need to do, or all the services you need to do as far as the online education is concerned. That is the fundamental concern. How will they have access to the internet? Because you will not be coming to the school, you will not be using the Wi-Fi, you will be staying home. So how will you have access? And this was done through a data and sampling collection of every bona fide student's telephone number to a survey, where you will be asked, you will be obliged to choose the number you want. If you think QCell is better in your cell, you use QCell. If you think AfriCell is the best, you use AfriCell. If you think Gamcell is the best, you use Gamcell. And you will not only use these things, but the university will provide free access to all these services, as Prof mentioned. Not only that, but we will give you an additional 1,500 meg for your individual research. So, that has been their main concern, and I believe that is addressed altogether. And thanks to the task force and the chairman of the committee as well for that. Yeah.
Okay, so this definitely means that there is a lot of cost involved, and already we know the Ministry of Higher Education is a partner in this crusade. So we'll just turn to Professor Gomez to explain the cost implication to the university and eventually to the government on this platform.
Thank you very much. Things would have been more expensive from our side had it not been the timely intervention of government through the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, and Ministry of Finance to engage our brothers and sisters in the media and especially the GSM operators to really come down to our aid and respond to the national call in these trying moments. So that's how, because originally we were supposed to pay for the connection for the online lectures, that is using the Google G system, the Google Classroom, other features and so on. But then thanks to government's intervention, all the GSM operators finally accepted now for the online lectures, as the president of the Student Union rightly said, President Danfa, that students will be given this opportunity free of charge. That is, it is unlimited. That is, the online is unlimited, and because the student data is sent to the GSM operators, and they will now do the synchronization, so that whoever is a registered student of the University of the Gambia, okay, and you want to attend these lectures, you will now have the opportunity to have access to these lectures free of charge. Then now the government and university management will now take care of the cost of the 1,500 megabytes that is meant for students' private research, individual research, which has nothing to do with the online courses and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Looking at the online platform, could you describe how would it be like? We know the university doors and tables and chairs are empty for now. Would this next week see the reopening of the university, maybe with lecturers coming in here?
No. This is another system. This is another model. So we will not be coming to campus. Everybody will stay at home. Both the lecturers and students will stay at home and then deliver or attend lectures from their respective homes. So because the lecturers will be using Google G Suite, as I said, with the different features such as Google Classroom, and that one gives them the opportunity now to interact, to have live lessons. Students will log in and then participate, and they can have ask questions, they can ask for clarifications, and the lecturer will respond, and then the advantage of all this is that the lecturer has the opportunity to record the lecture, and so that later, when for those who could not attend the class, they have the opportunity later to come and then and watch that video over and over, or those who attended but maybe because of the explanation was very fast, so they have the opportunity to watch it over again and be able to now understand the subject matter. And on top of that also, all that has been said there, the explanation, the students' questions, the lecturers' response, the presentations and all those stuff, can come in it will be transcribed. So therefore, the lecturer will receive also a text form of that discussion that took place, which he can later edit properly, and and he can share with the students.
Just
yes.
on the same subject
Yeah.
now, you're talking about 800 courses offered by the university.
More than,
more than that. So actually, have it been ascertained that all lecturers back their home, they will have the necessary infrastructure with the teaching aid supportive as in the classroom here, like the chalkboard or the smartboard and the like? Will it be effective without those materials in the campus?
yes, it will be effective. We already just on the undergrad alone, we have more than 100 courses that are to be run, and then we also have some graduate courses, masters and PhD, that will be run also through the same system. And remember, some of our lecturers already have unlimited data cards that they were using, so those ones are already set. What happened now is we, like the students, we're going to provide additional internet now facilities, there's data cards for those lecturers who did not have the data cards, and those adjunct lecturers. Remember, these are people who are working in private sector or in central government, who normally come and teach as part-timers. But since they have to teach for us, we need to provide also internet for them, and so that's possible. And the infrastructure is ready for them to use, and some of them have used it irrespective of discipline, moving from mathematics to pole science, math. Some we gave them whiteboards, for instance, the calculation courses. The university bought some whiteboards that they will be using. But some feel that maybe they don't need even that one. They will go really completely online using another system that our IT did propose to them. That is the Jamboard system that can be used also. So Jamboard. So these are all facilities that some of them are familiar with, and they have already tested it. And for your info, some have decided not to wait for Monday, just to start their lectures using their resources and all those stuff, because they've started enjoying it. And the way things are, it seems that
it's sophisticated somehow.
Yes,
but,
yes.
Just to take you through financial issues a bit, man, could you talk to us about how much would this cost?
Well, all put together, if you take government's contribution and that of the University of the Gambia, we are around 5.4 million as per the data that we gathered last week from the finance department. Okay, then when we are also getting some additional info here and there, but so far this is what we've gathered, and we are to serve a population of 6,084.
So that is with 6,084 student population. The University of the Gambia, here being one of the main campuses, the Kanifing campus of the University of the Gambia along MDI. We now turn to the president of Student Union, Mr. Damfa. Students are saying that the apps have been given to them, but
provost there, they supported us when we say that the entire situation is unforeseen and unplanned. According to the NACA requirements and even the university requirements, there should be times that the portal should be closed and should not open. But right now the portal is open. And you know, that will be given to you as a soft loan, and with time you can, you know, decide with UTG how to pay it. That is how we're trying to solve it. But we also expect, because to be a student in the UTG, already you have to register your courses, and to be able to register you need a gadget, whether it will be a phone or whether it will be a laptop. So we anticipate and we understand, but they have access. So we expect that through that as well, they will be able to.
Very good point to note right now, and then we'll now continue with Professor Gomez, who is chairperson of the online initiative at the University of the Gambia. Now, knowing this country, not everywhere is settled when it comes to connectivity. This is a natural problem, one could say, already in the Gambia, that, you know, network is a problem. Now, Prof. Gomez, you know, students are told to go home, and some of them do not live within the greater Banjul area. They don't live within the city. Those in the villages where network is yet to reach them, how are you addressing such cases?
Yeah, thank you very much. First, remember when things were normal, the classes were taking place here. So, and then now when we closed, some of them, you know, left to the villages and other stuff and other places. Now, come Monday, we are resuming. Okay, so we assume that, you know, like what they used to do, that they will now do the same. If they feel that where they are, in the villages where they are, then there's network there, they don't need to come here. They can stay there and have their lectures. But if they feel that those remote villages, they don't have network, it's better for them to return to the houses where they were and be having their network and then the lessons. And the other thing also is this applies to everybody, and that's why to avoid imposing networks to people, whether you are, as the president of the student union rightly said, you know, there was a survey form that was given out for students and lecturers to choose the network that will give them the GSM operator that will really give them network to follow all these things. If you are somewhere you think that you won't have network, then you choose another network. It's up to the individual, the student or the lecturer, to determine which network he wants. And that was the data that was generated from that. And based on that, we now send the list for, that was designed for QCell, it was sent to them, GAMCell, the same thing. So it was the lecturers and the students who determine where they want to go to.
Yeah, and the same options that we're giving to the students.
Exactly.
Because people have already also left because of in fear of coronavirus.
Exactly.
And the university is now enforcing safety first. Now, how about if those people without option now, no network, no safety zone, except in their homes where there is no network?
No,
what will you have?
But they are the one. In fact, the time we were sending the survey, that was in the middle of this, you know, pandemic. So they know. So they send what they feel would work for them.
So there are no cases of
yes,
people without option right now?
Yes, no, because you have some lecturers who decided to change. You know, they were having a particular network and now they've moved to another network, you know, because they're having network problem where they are. So some students also decided to change based on different realities.
Yeah,
so you have that one. In fact, from our survey, we have from the data has shown that some, they first provided a particular network and after and then change again. And we respected that.
Okay. So just on the same issue of university lecturers, university is the highest learning institution in this country, but it is also criticized for having some lecturers who don't know how to use the technology. How are you working about that?
Well, you know, the BBC syndrome, that's not only UTG, so it's in many, born before computer, so sorry for that. Yeah. But then in many situations, institutions, you know, either here in the Gambia or outside the Gambia, you have that. You have some who are not IT friendly, and but you see, we are moving. What is clear now, corona or no corona, things will never be the same again. I can tell you this. Take it to the bank. After this pandemic, some lecturers will be including IT in their work. Some have discovered the possibilities that this technological world can offer, can help enhance the teaching quality of their work. So I think we will really go into that, and and some will now take their time if they did not know to help, because some are receiving support here and there. You know, those who are having some issues. So the IT also is ready, using their graduate assistants also to help them. You know, things like that, using all other facilities. So it means that all of a sudden now, Corona has pushed us to sit up properly, has pushed us to now look at something that we were running away from for a while now, but then now see that we have no option. We've reached the wall now. We have to face it, and that's this where we are now, and we need to embrace technology and make good use of it.
Professor Gomez, who is Dean of the School of Art and Science. Professor Gomez is the Dean of School of Art and Science and also chairperson of the initiative on online that the university is coming to do. This university existed for more than 20 years now. This is going to be the first time that the university is graduating fully to the digital age. So coronavirus is a blessing in disguise. This is the situation right now on the Kanifing campus. Now on the student aspect, students are many, and definitely now your international students, what are you hearing from them?
Yeah, I think they are more or less on the same footing with our local students. That is, I should not use local. Yeah, that context. Yeah, those are here. Yeah, sorry for that. They are the same footing in the sense that our international students are around. The Gambia have not sent anyone outside. They are here, they are enjoying the same facilities. And the university is very fair in this sense that they provide the facility to everyone, regardless of your nationality, whether you are Gambian or not, international or a national student, you are given the same facility. So they have no cause to complain, and they are not complaining.
Just sorry about this, but you seem to be very satisfied with the university. Unionism sometimes needs some heat up. What are the issues that the students are saying this university is not doing?
Yeah,
share with us that.
Yes, for me, if you ask prof or people who are with me in our meetings and our discussions, they will tell you a different story. I want to believe that the student union should be an arm that should complement the efforts of the university management. However, I also believe that the student union should hold the management accountable if they are not doing things right. And we've been doing that. They will tell you that. But we always also want to make sure we are on a rational footing. I mean, this is a university. It's not a war zone. if a problem is discussed in a consultative manner, it's right. And to be honest with you, you know, when we came into office, we had a lot of shuffles. But at this point in time, at our verge of exiting, I can tell you, and like Prof said, you can take it to the bank, that the university management has been very much supportive to the student union at all time without fail. Yeah, that is really an assurance in an honest platform, setting all other inequalities aside.
Okay, we're running out of time. Let me just turn to Prof. Gomez. So now we quickly talk on the assessment part of it, because once you teach, you need to assess to know the level of progress. So how is assessment going to fit in this system you are coming to place?
Yes, thank you very much. I think this is a very important question, and for info, the president will tell you we debated on this issue from quarter past 11 to 6:30. Could you imagine?
All day on.
Yeah, so we came up with different scenarios just to look at it. But our main concern was about quality assurance, how to ensure that at the end of the day there is quality assurance. How can we now assure the people that the grades that we're going to give on to the students is what they deserve? And when using this quality, how to call distance, we concluded and endorsed by management, and and this is now the policy that when we are done with June, end of June, early July, we'll have the exam. However, it's going to be face-to-face campus.
We're going to end the go home, stay at home policy.
People will have to, because
and give them coronavirus. Is that the case?
Yeah, because they for the time being, since this is the first time we are rolling out these online lessons and so on, we don't want to use possibilities that are available. We have to make sure that we are very careful with some of these systems and make sure that we have total control of the whole process. For the exams, there are question marks here and there to make sure that all these things are addressed. So based on that, task force unanimously recommended to management that the exams to be conducted on campus on face-to-face basis, and this was approved by management under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mohammed Fakir Anjum, and this is what we intend to do.
Goodness, Professor, quickly, how would this fit in with the situation of state of public emergency that is declared for additional 45 days? How would you able to bring students on campus?
Yeah, for the face-to-face, we have different options. So first, let's say the first option, that is where we believe that by that time, end of June, early July, things would have come to normalcy. Okay, like in other countries where they have recovered. Okay, and remember, for the time being, our borders are closed. So, and the way things are, is if we are to be affected, it will come from outside. So if we are able to maintain all these things up to that time, and people now follow doctors' advice, that is the social distancing and other measures that they have recommended, we hope that by that time things will come to normalcy, and then we go by the normal exam. The other one is there are some few issues still pending. Then we will have an extended exam period. Extended exam period, where now instead of what we used to have, roll out all our exams same time, no, we now do it so that we maintain the social distancing. So turn by turn and so on and so forth, so that we, unfortunately for us also, some other institutions, MDI, Gambia College, they are not functioning, and it means we can have that space all for us to use and be able to really use the social distancing effectively.
These are all options that we are trying to
Exactly.
weigh for now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so now I left one more round. So just to wrap up, we quickly go to Mr. Damfa. The idea of having students to come to the campus for face-to-face in this wake of coronavirus, does it signify lack of trust on the students that they might compromise the quality?
No, it doesn't actually signify. What it signifies is willingness to ensure that quality is maintained, and this, in other way around, should be supportive of this, because your university with efficient quality is your university's pride. So, and like Prof said, doing some calculations, the 45 days, you realize that it is going to end before, and the university, the plan, the task force, what we have agreed, as Prof said, is even if we are going to do this, even if it is after the pandemic, we will ensure that we observe the WHO requirements, that is the social distancing, washing hands, and so on.
Despite the fact that it is a period of coronavirus, will the student hold the university administration accountable for extended period of stay after they have paid their tuition fees?
Well, to be honest with you, this entire scenario is unforeseen and unplanned. This is a global problem. There are universities, international universities, that are completely on a closed down right now. There are local universities that are completely on a closed down. So if your university can come up with an initiative like this, a student union come up with the idea and the university supported and all that, I think, yes, you must have dissenting views, others might hold them accountable, and that's their opinion, that should be respected. And but at the level of the student union, we are really appreciative and we will be supportive of this to the tail end.
Yeah. So now we just, Professor Gomez, last question now. We know the university is making initiative to move on to stop any breakage or hiatus in the continuity of education. So what about the feeder schools, that are the colleges and other tertiary institutions that normally supply students to the university? And as far as the senior schools, if they stop, when are you hoping the university to have a semester without any enrollment?
Well, for the time being, we are really dealing with the issues as they come, and what we want to do is to save this semester, but ensuring that standards are respected, and that's what we want to do. And then the other thing also is, it is clear that come September we want to have our new semester, that is start with the first semester. And
Students from where?
Yeah, so that one also, there's this option with the belief that the WAEC would have conducted their exams, finished their exams, and results would have come. If that's not the case, we can now postpone our enrollment
And become a senior school?
No. Remember, we have students already. I told you we have 6,084 students already on campus. And remember, we were enrolling 2 cohorts every year, September and January. So, and later on, we decided last year we decided to stop having these 2 cohorts and only allow in January those in physical natural sciences. But the other programs are no enrollment. So what we can do in the event where there's this possibility of these students not finishing in earnest, then we can now shift, cancel the enrollment for September and then have it in January. So it means that the result would have come before that, and then we enroll them in January, all of them.
Yeah. We have to leave it there. And that was Professor Gomez, Dean of School of Art and Science, and also chairman of the task force responsible for the online classes in the University of the Gambia. Then we also Ibrahim El Damfa, student leader, president of the Student Union of the University of the Gambia, with me for the past few moments. The whole discussion was about the University of the Gambia's graduation to digital platform, and right now all plans are on tentative. But what is clear now, Monday will definitely mark the first session where the university conduct lessons online entirely. So until another edition, we thank you very much. It was a pleasure being with you, listeners. My name is Ibrahim Ba.